Hey everybody, it's Dick here. As some of you know, Shakedown and I are participating in this year's Longest Day Challenge in benefit of Cancer Research UK. Our family, like many others, has been directly impacted by this terrible disease. There is a statistic floating around that half of all people will get cancer. In our family, that statistic is dead accurate. Half of all the deaths in Fanny's and my families have been the result of cancer. In the last 2 years, we have lost 3 people to cancer and currently have family members at the end of their battles. It is for them, and everyone else dealing with this horrible illness, that we are participating in this year's event. The Longest Day Challenge, also known as the Longest Day Up or the LDU, is a 1,000-mile motorcycle ride on motorcycles acquired and serviced for £600 or less from Land's End in Cornwall to John O'Groats in Scotland. I provide a link in the description of this video for the Longest Day Challenge website for more information and to Shakedown to my donation page. I encourage all of you to donate to this worthy cause. Shakedown will be riding a 1997 Yamaha Diversion 900 with 67,000 miles on the clock, which we lovingly call the Camel. I'll be riding a 2001 Honda Transalp 650 with 41,000 miles on the clock, which I call the Whale. In this video, I wanted to take a moment to thank my friends Ian, Radar, and Bones for all of their help in the past 2 months getting the bikes ready for this challenge. If you've watched my videos over the past couple of years, you'll have heard me talking about Radar, who I met through this channel. Radar was instrumental in picking up Shakedown's 1997 Yamaha Diversion 900, which Ian Fitzgerald found and went to inspect and sign off on before I purchased it. Radar then spent a couple of weeks servicing it and getting it ready for the road. The bike cost just under £600, so without his time servicing it, we would have been way over budget. I really appreciate Radar's time, effort, and generosity, especially since Radar is not riding in this event and realistically doesn't have a horse in this race. His time on the bike is a valuable contribution to this charity event and deserves acknowledgement. Once the Camel was on the road and ready for Shakedown, I had to turn my attention to the Whale. I met Bones at the London Motorcycle Show a few years ago now, and after he contacted me, also through this YouTube channel, he asked me if I'd like to meet up for a coffee and a chat. As long as it's in a public place, I thought to myself, remembering my online safety. So Fanny and I met Bones and his wife at the show and had a very long and pleasant chat. Bones' wife also rides motorcycles, and she and Fanny hit it off immediately. I think it was Bones who mentioned in passing the Longest Day Challenge in benefit of Cancer Research UK as something that I might like to do. As with most suggestions to participate in unusually arduous trips or challenges, I gave my customary, "Sure, sounds fun," response, and as always, half figured it wouldn't happen. We had to enter our names into a lottery to see if we got a spot. I was pretty sure I wouldn't be going as I never win stuff like that. For giggles and without telling him, I entered Shakedown's name as well. Much to my surprise, Bones, Shakedown, and I were all awarded spots on the ride, and then the real work began. Unsurprisingly, Shakedown agreed to this absurd idea. It was then up to me to source 2 motorcycles, get them serviced and rideable in time for the event on the 21st of June. I'd had the Whale in the fleet for a couple of years, but had found while doing some routine maintenance that the frame had completely rusted out and the bike was essentially scrap and should have been sold off in bits. I parked it in the corner of the garage and sulked, and eventually forgot about it until the prospect of this event emerged. I'd gotten the frame welded by my local village blacksmith friend and thought I was on my way. It wasn't until I started addressing all the other serviceable items on the bike did I discover even more corrosion on the frame. Bones, who has his own bike to sort out, has been instrumental in getting the Whale ready for the ride. He inspected the bike while visiting for a riding weekend and did some work on the bike then. He then came up again from his home in southeast England to help me through changing spark plugs, air filter, chain, sprocket, brake pads, address a coolant leak, coolant flush, exhaust replacement, and a load of other things I'm not remembering at the moment. During all of this, we discovered the additional frame damage. He then made arrangements with a friend of his in the Dover area to weld and repair the frame. I then traveled down to them from Wales, and while addressing the frame, they insisted on changing the rear wheel bearings, which had a minor bit of play, and replaced the front brake caliper piston seals as they were slightly binding. In the end, the Whale is a new bike. The hours and effort spent on it by Bones and his comrades would have made the task cost prohibitive if I were forced to pay a bike shop to do all of the work. What I and other participants have found in committing to this charity event is that this is not a single-day challenge. This is a challenge that takes weeks of preparation and commitment by more than just the people riding the stupidly long distance in one day. It is the people who donate their time and expertise to getting us to the start and hopefully to the finish. So thank you to Ian, Radar, Bones, Kev, and Fanny, who agreed to financing this endeavor and committing the time to seeing it through. And to all of those who have already donated to our fundraising efforts. And to those who will donate now and in the future. Once again, the Longest Day Challenge benefits Cancer Research UK. Please follow the link in the description of this video to donate as much as you can to this worthy cause. And stay tuned for updates on our further preparations and for videos on the day of the challenge. If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.